And I used to drive around a lot with Jake Roberts. I had to pick him up, and we always had to go on these wild rides, with him. It's like with Jake, it's like you never know where.
Those were his dark days.
Oh yeah. He's just a mess. But like in between of him being a mess on these trips, I'd have to go with him and stuff. Everything he was a crackhead.
Right.
We'd be driving. Hey, pull over this town over here. We'd go down the highway, with 4-hour drive. You just pull into town and go try and find the hood in the town and pull up the street corners, ask people if they got any crack. I'm a green guy in the business driving. I'd known him from seeing him on TV and stuff. And I'm like, this is crazy. I'm like, I'm going to private school. High school. So I'm like a suburban kid from Marietta, Georgia and stuff. And I'm driving around with Jake, and he's trying to, he's like, he was a crackhead back then. He just couldn't. And I would have to go and drive him and stuff. I didn't do it. I have to drive. So it's like, I'm the driver. I'm the green guy driving around Jake, and he's, But in between all that, the guy's brilliant, for wrestling. But it's just he was just a mess,
Right.
But
you do it right in the car.
Yeah, it's funny. He would we'd get in the car, and I'd get in the driver's seat, and he'd get in the passenger seat. His car. We drive his car. He didn't want to drive because he wanted and he would always just reach in, pull the can out, and be like, I haven't done this since the last time I drove with you. Every time, and I'm like, oh, yeah, all right, yeah, sure, Jake. I'm sure that's true. Right? So, oh, really? So,